What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Bodacious Rant with Burn and Rye. Hope everybody's been doing great. I know I have. I've seen Dune Part 3 10 times since it came out. No kidding. Imagine. But we're not talking about
the third one already. That's crazy.
No, I'm just kidding. I've only seen it twice, but I definitely want to. I still have at least probably one or two more rewatches, just because I just want to revisit that movie with a couple friends. One who's a huge Dune. Actually, they're both huge Dune fans, but it just depends on them. But we're not talking about Dune Part 2 today. We are talking about a new film and probably one of my favorite franchises growing up, which is Kung Fu Panda 4, starring Jack Black, Awkwafina, Viola Davis, Dustin Hoffman, James Hong. And as always, it's a non-spoiler review, so please do not forget to give us a like if you enjoy the video, ring the bell for notifications, and of course subscribe. We do appreciate y'all and want to keep just reviewing stuff with y'all and all that good stuff. So yeah, this one takes place same in the movie verse of Kung Fu Panda, where Po is reaching his peak in his career being the Dragon Warrior, and now has to find a successor. But lo and behold, as always in a hero's journey, another villain comes along to cause chaos and rule the Valley of Peace. And that one is the Chameleon, played by Viola Davis, in which, like a chameleon, she could take control of. She could pretend to be other people, So it's kind of a nice way to throw back to the original villains from the last three movies and stuff in a certain way. Especially Ian McShane came back as Tai Lung, so that was actually kind of a nice little joy, because it's either him or Gary Oldman's Lord Shen. I think were my favorite two villains. Those are the two best movies, anyways. And yeah, so I remember watching the third one in theaters years ago when it came out. Thought, okay, this one's okay. Definitely a little bit more for kids, where the first two I feel like are for generally anyone, especially if you're a Jack Black fan. Those two movies were great for just old, young, doesn't matter. But I'm gonna say this one definitely felt very childlike as well, which isn't a bad thing, because in the end it's a cartoon about a fighting panda. So what does it really matter? But I think that's also kind of where it falls storytelling wise, that it can't really explore certain themes, especially after the first and second one. They were, well, at least more after the second one, we're kind of up the ante introducing, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Kung Fu Panda 2, where they introduced like gunpowder and cannons and stuff. So I think they could have taken it more to, as in like Kung Fu kind of getting modernized in that day and age to a certain extent. But yeah, other than that, I think it was just okay. But before I kind of finish up my thoughts and stuff, Bern, what did you think of this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with the sentiment that this one is like the third movie, generally aimed more for the kids, where the first two did feel like a lot of other animated movies where the kids could enjoy them, but there were certain thematic elements of those two movies that really lent themselves to being enjoyed by adults as well. And yeah, so this one is more along the lines of the third one, which is, yeah, it's a little geared more and more towards the kids. I don't think there is that narrative, like thematic bite that the first two has, but what this one does has is the fun. And it is Jack Black and the entire crew basically back here, it really just slipping right into their performances, and along with newcomers like you mentioned, Viola Davis. She was really fun in the role. I felt like the role was a little bit underwritten, like you mentioned, not really as deep as Tai Lung or Gary Oldman's character from the second movie. But she was having a great time in the voice booth, it seemed like, and from the little that we did get of her, I thought she was a fun villain overall. But I did really like Aquafina's character, Zen. I thought, she's been doing voiceover work, it seems like, for a little while now, within these last few years, and she continues to be really good. I mean, she has a very distinct voice for everyone who knows her, and I thought she fit in the role here pretty well. Although I do wish we could have gotten a little bit more between her character and Po. I really wish they would have focused in a little bit more on their journey, on those two characters. And, it's a buddy movie, so you got to have them sort of bouncing off of each other, learning from each other. And we didn't get too much of that, which was a little bit unfortunate. It is very just sort of surface level, just enjoyment. It's not really trying to do too many things, but the things it does do, it does with the same sort of wit and fun from the first few movies.
Yeah, and I kind of do agree. I wish we got a little bit more with Aquafina and Jack Black. I wouldn't even mind if we had more Bryan Cranston and James Hong, just because they both play Poe's dads, the goose, and his actual dad, the panda. Because I will say that was actually a nice addition to have Bryan Cranston come into the mix. And then I wish the only other one I kind of was felt like was lacking a little bit was Dustin Hoffman's, you know, Master Shifu. So that's a bummer we didn't have enough of him, because he actually has some good zingers of lines. Because he's just, while he's Poe's master, he loves to kind of jab him with little insults and frustrations. So um, yeah. Other than that, like I said, I thought it was just okay, and that's why I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Just because it's still enjoyable, the animation's solid, still has some fun moments, decent action, and again, it kind of did throw it back to the very beginning of the franchise, which I was like, oh man, I forgot this movie's like almost. It's kind of getting to the 20-year mark at this point, so that's like 16 years, but still, it's a while. Um, so I would definitely recommend this more though for people who do have kids. Maybe yeah, just definitely more of a kids movie or something. Or maybe if you're on the younger side, you'll probably get a little more enjoyment out of it than Bern and myself did, especially me because I'm getting old. Not super old, mind you, but just I feel it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. Just a solid 3 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, it's going to be the same for me as well. A solid 3 out of 5. This is a very fine movie. A lot of fun, like I mentioned. The jokes and the action are really good. The animation's consistently good as always. So I'm glad they didn't take a step down from there. Although I do wish it would have lived up to the expectations that recent DreamWorks movies have, like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and The Bad Guys. I thought those two movies were really fantastic, actually, and took me by surprise. And I was kind of hoping for the same with this one, but at the end of the day, I just got a fun and light movie. And in terms of the movies that we've gotten so far this year, I think it's a good offering, especially since there hasn't been a lot of kids movies in the theaters so far. So yeah, this is definitely coming out at the right time. I think one to take the kids to, and if you're a big fan of the Kung Fu Panda, series, I don't think you'll leave disappointed. I think you'll leave having a fun time.
Totally fair, but I could make that comment that Dune Part Two is a great movie for children. It teaches them everything they need to know for life and politics, and that's just me here, but whatever. Imagine. But yeah, for those of you who did happen to catch this movie in theaters this last weekend, what did you all think of it? We'd love to get your thoughts down. Did the kids enjoy it, or or were you guys just like meh, like it's whatever? We love to know your thoughts in the comments, so please throw them out there. But until next time, everyone, stay bodacious and just keep on ranting for us.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.